Hello there everybody and welcome back to my channel. Now today for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia we have yet another should you pull video for a hyped up banner, and this banner is going to come in the form of Keiss. Now Keiss comes along with another character in Zidane that is slightly less hyped than he is, but Keiss is a character that a lot of people have been looking forward to for a long while, probably not because of who he is, because he's quite a relatively unknown Final Fantasy character from Crystal Chronicles, but his kit is actually extremely powerful. So if you'd like to find out more about him and the event that he'll come along with, then stay tuned and keep on watching. As always everybody, don't forget to check out all of the links in the description box below for all of my social media pages, so that's Twitter, Twitch, Discord and Patreon. Twitch this week, I will make sure that I will be streaming every event as they come out for Opera Omnia, and Keiss's event is no different, so be sure to check out on my right hand side here the various times and things that you'll need if you want to come and catch me on Twitch. This one is going to be in the evening so that it will help people from different time zones to myself, because I normally do my streams in the morning, but I've discovered that it actually does benefit me quite a lot to do them at different time zones, so do come and check that out if you'd like to come along. And then for Patreon, obviously I do a shout out during every video to a random patron to show my thanks and appreciation for each and every one of you that decides to support the channel further, and today that person is going to be Vinegar, who is a very recent addition to my Patreon, so thank you ever so much for joining in on that. And then of course don't forget to check out all the different websites for Opera Omnia, so that's Dissidia Info, Dissidia DB and TomburyTroop.com for all of their amazing information and resources, and don't forget to check out all the other content creators that are listed below just like me. So as always, for the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be the event itself. So what kind of thing can we expect from Keiss's character event? So the enemies that you're going to be coming up against here are going to be Cray Claws in the first wave, and then Biosoul, which is his primary enemy, in the second wave, and they're basically just variants of one another. But the main things that you're going to have to worry about with both of these enemies is that they do like to inflict some really nasty debuffs on you, including max HP down. So if you have any access to high HP tanks, or tanks are actually very helpful in this. So if you have access to either Zac or Snow, then you're going to want to bring them along with you, particularly if you've done Zac's character boards, because he's actually still very powerful at this point in the game. So having everyone's single target attacks redirected to Zac or Snow is going to help you immensely, because what these guys like to do is they like to charge each other up with a large amount of bravery and make it so that they have brave damage reduction auras, just like the last event we had, so that it's harder to get away from them before they start inflicting massive HP attacks. So if you've got characters with Last Stand, or even better, if you have Freya available or Arciella, then you're just going to make it so that any big scale scary HP attacks they're going to do aren't going to be that scary to begin with. As I say, they do like to do these nasty debuffs, so Lena is a nice option as well, because she provides the debuff evasion as well as being a really good healer and support character in general, so you may want to consider her if you have her but perhaps don't have Arciella. But you're going to want some way of keeping yourself alive when it comes to these large scale AoE brave HP attacks, and basically making it so that these max HP down isn't just instant doom for the character that they target with it. The other thing to bear in mind with this particular event is that all three of the banner characters on this banner have launch in their kits. So that's Cloud, Zidane and Keiss. So obviously they're going to want you to bring some sort of launch along. When they put their big auras up, they become immune to delay at that point as well, so you're going to want to kind of work around that wherever possible. Even through unbreak, they can't be delayed through breaking either. So as long as you can get around that, then bringing somebody along like Fujin or even Lael, like Lael less so because of the fact that you can't use the delay on his energy gain quite as often, but Guy Bolg is going to be really helpful, because if you get a launch on them during the fact that they have these auras, it actually dissipates the aura. So it helps a huge amount in doing a really large amount of damage. Fujin in particular is really good, purely because she has that really nice Razor Wind debuff. She's got the Imperil enchant on top of it all as well. I honestly think that Fujin is probably the most underrated character this entire month, because while people are focused on Arciella and Keiss, Fujin actually can be brought along to practically anything and open your team up a huge amount. And then the last character I've got on my recommendations here is actually Jack, because while you can't manipulate their turns particularly well in this particular fight, you can still play around with your own. So using transients and then making it so that Deliverance like puts your turn in front of theirs repeatedly over and over again is going to be really helpful. Although don't let yourself forget that there are attacks in the BioClaws kits that have guaranteed hits on them. So don't go using transients and putting yourself to 1 HP thinking you can evade everything, because you can't. There are certain attacks in their kits that will take Jack out if you're not careful. But while this is quite a challenging fight if you don't have the characters available, or like any of the synergy characters, because Alphino is going to be synergy for this as well, and he's obviously going to do very well as well, you can get past it. Arciella ruins most Chaos fights at this point. If you have Arciella, Fujin, and pretty much anybody, or Zack and Snow, you will just rinse through this. Arciella, like, making it so that HP damage isn't going to be a big thing. Fujin making it so that they're going to be taking damage and your damage flow isn't going to be too big a deal. And then Snow or Zack redirecting all like single target HP attacks, or any attacks really, to them is going to be massively helpful. So just keep your bravery up, keep your HP up as much as you physically can, so they don't just one-shot you, and then you should be fine. So now we come to the part of the video where we're going to talk about the new characters, or the new things that older characters have gotten with this particular event. Now, Cloud doesn't get anything new here, so we're going to skip over him. So we're going to start with Zidane, who gets a slight rework. He's still a Circle 5, becomes an AoE attack, or at least the bravery hits are AoE. The HP attack is still, unfortunately, single target, and he basically doesn't have to worry about hitting a certain threshold before he actually gets an HP attack. Now it's guaranteed whether he has his thievery buff or not. Basically, for those of you who've never used Zidane before, and I wouldn't blame you if you hadn't, there's never really been a point in the time in the game where he's been, oh my god, I absolutely have to have him. What he basically does is he uses his skills in order to grant himself a thievery buff, which raises his offensive stats and takes it away from the enemy, because in theory, by giving them a debuff that lowers the same stats. And he gets various different debuffs and buffs off of his skills. So he kind of drains stats off of them, but not to any huge degree. But then Free Energy now has bravery hits on it, which it didn't have before, which is helpful. And it also deals extra damage, splash damage to the non-targets if you have the plus version of it. Which, in all honesty, there is no reason why you shouldn't have Thievery up at pretty much all times when it comes to Zidane, because his skills grant it, his EX grants it. Basically, you will always have it live, so you'll pretty much always be using the plus versions of these stats. The other thing I did want to point out is that while Zidane doesn't really bring anything to the team itself apart from these debuffs, which are useful, is the fact that he has a World of Illusions weapon that does actually give him a slight party aura. It's nothing to write home about, it's nothing incredible, but it does help. And then Exploder. Now, Exploder originally was very nothing, and in all honesty, you're still not going to be pulling for Zidane on this banner, I'll say that now. The thing with Exploder is that it was a guaranteed launch, which is nice, and it gave him a bunch of extra bravery like when you used it. When you give it a book, it does actually get a fair amount on top of it. Basically, it inflicts the Thief's Mark, which is what you want it to do, because all of his other skills do it, and you want to keep that on as much as you possibly can. It also gives him a new bravery attack, or it changes his bravery attack into Mug, which is a brave HP attack that has gravity-based effects. It cuts the bravery in half. It is a 3-hit brave HP attack that has no action delay. It extends his duration, his buff durations, and it also doesn't increase turn count. So it does make him a little bit more turn efficient, which is nice. And then as long as you've got Thievery active, you get boost to 8+, which is the guaranteed launch, but it's also going to deal splash damage elsewhere. And then if you give him 1 ingot, he gets stats. We all know how that works by now. Give him 2 ingots. He starts with Thieves' Mark on all enemies. He starts with his EX gauge maxed out, which circumvents the issue of it being quite slow charging, because recast rate is much quicker than initial cast rate. So that does help him a little bit. And he gets Thievery at the beginning from the beginning, and that really helps. 3 out of 3, he finally gets an HP attack. He actually skips HP plus and goes straight to HP plus, which is a 2-hit brave HP attack, which does more damage and extends his buffs by a turn. It's nothing special, it's okay, it's pretty good. And then you get more Brave Overflow on booster 8, and then if you're using the plus version, you get 8 hits, which are AoE, which is useful, and you do more HP damage to splash targets. My issue with Zidane is the time in which he was released. Had he been released 6-8 weeks ago, I'd have been all over him, and I'd have loved him. Guaranteed launch, yes. Debuffs, yes. You know, decent damage, yes. The problem with Zidane is that he is released on a banner with a character that is strictly better than him. And it wasn't that long ago that Fujin got released, and she's pretty much strictly better than him as well, because she does debuff, she has the trap, she has batteries on top of it all, she does 100% AoE damage with her EX, she's got delay in her kit, whereas Zidane doesn't. Basically, Zidane just feels a little bit meh at the moment. Like, he's not bad. Like, people will tell you that, like, oh my god, he's like the worst EX ever. He's not, and this pains me because we all know that FF9 is my favourite game in the series. He's just swept under the rug by other characters. I mean, I've already spoken about Fujin. We haven't even touched on Keiss yet, but Keiss blows him out of the water. So now we're going to talk about Keiss. Now, I'm probably going to sound like a broken record about new characters and things that have happened in this month, but Keiss is another pretty ridiculous character to come out this month. And honestly, once you see the stuff he can do and the things he can do when paired up with certain characters, you will see why. Basically, Keiss's kit, much like Lael, the game that the same game from which he comes, is a launch-based character. Now, Keiss does this in a very unique way that puts him above every other character like him, like even Fujin in some ways. Because what he does is he batteries your party during launches. He has an HP plus during, and a bravery plus, it's actually quite good, during a launch. So basically, Selkie Throw is a brave HP attack that grants a aura, which is max brave attack and crit hit rate, which is every offensive stat you could want. Hero support, and don't be fooled by the low number of uses on this, because you have 5 uses when you get all of his passives, but his C65 actually has 3 uses and regenerates uses of hero support. What it does is it basically manipulates your turn order to maximize efficiency on your launches. So it's a brave HP attack, which is great, and it also, as I say, Selkie Throw actually also has splash damage as well, which is really nice and gives him the beginnings of his HP pluses and things like that. But hero support basically does this attack, but you target one of your allies in your party when you use it, and it means that the next time they attack, they're guaranteed to launch. No matter what the attack is, they're guaranteed to launch the target. And it also places Keiss's turn immediately after that character, so you get turn manipulation in this really cool way where it doesn't matter where Keiss's turn is, because if you really want to get a really powerful launch, you just use hero support and it sticks it right in the center of the launch. So his HP plus has battery capabilities in and out of launches, so you can imagine how much damage you will get out of a launch from Keiss. And we haven't even touched on his EX yet, and I'll get to that in a little while. When he uses his HP plus or Brave plus during a launch as well, he also inflicts a framed debuff to the enemy called Weakness Preparation, which lowers their defense and speed. Again, perfect for what you would need from launches. You want their defense lowered and you want their speed lowered. He's just a very, very high damage dealing launch character that has some pretty nice auras on top of it. Like his C68 is Party Bravery plus 20%. It's just really nice stuff. He gets more bravery and attack while Selkie Spirit is active, so he gets some really nice support capabilities on top of it. He's no healer, so that's something you got to bear in mind. You're still going to want to bring a healer along. But then we look at his EX weapon as well, Sky High, which is, without any books or ingots or anything, a AoE Brave HP attack, decent hit count at 6, has overflow, obviously all EXs do these days, and it's split damage because we can't have everything in the world, and it also gives another framed buff, which lowers enemy speed again, and also raises HP damage dealt during launches. So he has Pandemonium's effect on him. And that's really, really good. If you pair him with another launcher, like half the reason I wanted Fujin so badly is because I wanted to put her in a party with him. Because the pair of them together with Pandemonium live, it's just chaos. It's hilarious and it's really powerful. Basically, once you've gotten Meticulous Preparation up and you've got that buff, once you've put books and everything into it, the recast rate, it's not the greatest, but it's good enough, because you'll use his skills quite frequently. And once you put realizations into it, it really just starts to shine. So the reason that I've not spoken about his HP plus very much like in or out of his out of launches is because they get better once you've maximized his EX. And trust me, like many characters now, not a budget hero. Don't even think about it. If you're going for Keiss, you're going for 3 ingots. Sky High has delay in it with just a book, which is nice. Like, you want that. It like, if you're going to use that kind of thing, having delay, like, I mean, if I could make Gilgamesh work with delay in his kit, and Keiss is a lot better than Gilgamesh, that's for sure. And then 1 out of 3, stat bonus, standard fare. 2 out of 3 starts with all of his buffs active, and he extends those buffs continually by using Sky High as well. So once those buffs are active, unless they get dispelled, there's a very good chance that you won't lose them again. Now, when you get the 3rd ingot, Sky High becomes doubled, so it's 6 hits AoE Brave HP twice, so that's a much stronger attack. Is it as strong as the 10 hit from Fujin's 100% AoE? Probably. Like, 12 hits AoE is he's gonna cap both times, so it's gonna be pretty close. And then while you've got Selkie Spirit and Meticulous Preparation, so both the skills, the frame buffs he gets from his 15 CP skill and his EX, he gets Brave Attack Plus, which is 3 hit Bravery, Party Battery. Fairly standard fare at this point, but still very nice. HP Plus becomes Party Bravery, then 2 hit a Brave HP, which is really good. Like, we've already seen this in Fujin, and it's really nice, particularly because it raises his own bravery, so it's a lot harder to break him. Much like we've seen with Alphino, with Fujin, we've seen with a lot of characters where they start, or Arciella with Knuckles Vengeance, where they battery themselves as well as their party members, which makes them so much better. But then during the chase, you get Selkie Chase Plus, Bravery, or HP. Now, the only thing you actually get out of these is the fact that you get overflow on gained Bravery, which actually makes a huge difference. If you've ever used Aerith, then you'll know how good this is. Again, Keiss and Aerith is really good because then your overflow is really good on both of them. And honestly, I just love coming up with different characters that I can put Keiss with. He's so cool. But basically, you get party batteries during the launch. So if we go back again and talk about hero support, you have, which is also a battery, by the way. I forgot to mention that. It's also a battery move. So if you use hero support, battery the next character in line, and then that character uses an attack that, I mean, it doesn't even have to battery, that launches. Keiss then comes straight after in that launch and can use his HP plus, which then batteries the character that just attacked and the 3rd character, and then he batteries himself, so he hits pretty hard. And then bear in mind you're dealing more damage during launch because of the things that you're getting out of Sky High, and then his turn comes straight after, so you could do it again. During a summon, the damage capabilities of this guy are absolutely incredible. Like, I've never seen anything like it. And until, I want to say, like, the beginning of Lufenia, which is months away, Keiss gets used a lot in a lot of content. He is very, very powerful, and I know that there are a ton of powerful characters that have been released this month, and I hate to say it, but it's not going to get any easier over the next month, and trust me, my resources have been really, like, taking a hit from these past few weeks, but Keiss, to me, is a must-have character. Artifacts-wise, Zidane, super simple, attack and max bravery. There's nothing really there that really stands out. He is one of the earlier characters in the game. He came out when the game came out, so he's not got any super special C50s or anything like that. Just give him attack 108 and brave 330. Keiss, you're going to want well-informed Selkie boost 2, which raises party max bravery and attack. So much like Alphino before him, then you're going to want 2 stars of this before you get anything else. Past that, attack max bravery. He's an offensive support character, much like Fujin. So if you're going to get like that, once you've got well-informed Selkie boost 3 times, then everything else is just icing on the cake. So now for the big question, should you pull on Keiss and Zidane's banner? This is actually a weird one. Like, yes, almost certainly I plan on pulling on Keiss, and I'm sure that many, many other players will. However, with Keiss, there is a slight element of win more about him. And I use the term win more because, like, he's never mandatory. Like, you don't have to have him. But my God, does he make your life a lot easier alongside characters like Arciella, who are like the pristine defensive supports. And then you've got this character that makes your turn order go crazy. It ignores practically everything your opponent does because launches do that by standard, so because they're just very powerful in general. But we've got a lot of good characters coming out in July, and then Burst Era is coming up in August, hopefully, as well. And I know a lot of players are going to be looking forward to Cloud of Darkness, who is coming very soon. Now, I will spoil my video for should you pull for Cloud of Darkness now. Pulling on this banner depends on your status when it comes to magic attackers. I think that Keiss is busted, personally. So I plan to go as far in as I have to get him. Hopefully he's nicer to me than Alphino was. But Cloud of Darkness is like Magic Jack. So Cloud of Darkness is a character a lot of people are looking forward to, and she is a damage dealer and an exceptional magic damage dealer at that. If you already have Kefka, however, who is also an exceptional character after he gets his EX+, then that banner is slightly less appealing. If you have neither of them, that banner should come first. If you have Kefka already, this banner should come first. I think that the problem with this banner is Zidane. And it pains me to say it, because Zidane is just very underwhelming compared to characters that we've had this month. But Keiss is so good that it balances itself out. Now, I've said this before with other banners. Like Arciela had Prish, who balanced her out. And then, you know, Fujin has Cyan that balanced her out. And now the same thing happens here. If you've got resources still after Fujin or Arciela or Lena or Alphino, then I would use them here, personally. But I think that people might be maybe wanting to wait until Cloud of Darkness comes up, because she should, in theory, be the next banner after this. We don't know for sure because we haven't had the community stream yet. But in theory, she should be the banner after this. So some players may want to wait until that banner to then come back and pull on this one. But honestly, I just think Keiss is ridiculous, and I just don't think that people will want to miss out on him. So that's going to be all from me today. Hopefully this has given you a bit of insight as to why I'm foaming at the mouth for Keiss, and I have been for practically every character that's come out this month. And like I said before, unfortunately, the reason that I've been telling people to save all the way through April and May is because June and July, they're a bitch. And I'm just going to say that now because there's so many good banners. So many. July will have Eldnash Garnet, Saz Raijin, Trey. There's so many characters to pull for at the moment that our resources are going to be really tight at the moment. So let me know in the comments below if you plan to pull for Keiss or even Zidane, because a lot of people will want to make him work. If I pulled him along the way, I'd be tempted to do the same thing because I love Zidane and I love FF9. And then let me know if you're planning to save your gems or resources for future banners as well, particularly Burst, LD Era, Cloud of Darkness, the aforementioned July banners. Let me know who you're saving for in the comments below, and let me know who you plan to tackle the event as well. Anyways, that's going to be it from me, so don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe, all that good stuff that content creators say, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care!